Few figures in the Bible evoke as much controversy as Jezebel. Mention her name, and it conjures images of a wicked queen, the epitome of sin and rebellion against God. But what if Jezebel's story is more complex than we've been led to believe? What if her narrative holds secrets that challenge our understanding of her character? Here's a lesser-known fact. Jezebel's marriage to King Ahab wasn't just a union of love or convenience. It was a political alliance that dramatically altered the spiritual and political landscape of Israel. Could this strategic marriage explain some of her infamous actions? Could there be a layer to Jezebel's story that remains hidden beneath centuries of condemnation? The Bible paints her as the ultimate antagonist, a figure to be scorned and feared. Yet, Jezebel's influence, decisions, and motivations deserve closer scrutiny. By peeling back the layers of her story, we can uncover a woman who was as much a product of her environment as she was an architect of her destiny. And in understanding her, we may find lessons that resonate even today. Before we dive into Jezebel's life, let me invite you to subscribe to our channel, The Faithful Scribe. Here we uncover hidden truths and untold stories of the Bible. Don't miss out on these fascinating insights that deepen your understanding of Scripture. Hit that subscribe button now and join us as we explore the mysteries of faith like never before. To truly understand Jezebel, we must journey back to Phoenicia, her homeland. Born as the daughter of Ethbal, the king of Sidon, Jezebel was no ordinary princess. Her father wasn't just a ruler, he was also a high priest of Baal, the god central to Phoenician religion. This dual role meant that Jezebel's upbringing was steeped in Baal worship, a faith intrinsically tied to the identity and survival of her people. Phoenicia was a thriving maritime power known for its trade, wealth, and cultural influence. Jezebel's education likely included not only religious teachings, but also lessons in diplomacy, politics, and governance. She was groomed to be a queen, a role that demanded both intelligence and resilience. When Jezebel married King Ahab of Israel, she didn't merely step into the role of queen. She became a bridge between two nations, bringing her gods and customs into the land of Yahweh. But this wasn't just an act of devotion to her faith. It was a calculated political strategy aimed at strengthening ties between Phoenicia and Israel. By introducing Baal worship, Jezebel sought to unite the people under a shared spiritual and political framework. However, this cultural integration came at a cost. Baal worship clashed violently with the monotheistic faith of Israel, creating tension that would define Jezebel's reign. She became a polarizing figure, loved by those who embraced her ways and despised by those loyal to Yahweh. Was she a villain for challenging Israel's traditions, or was she a woman striving to preserve her heritage in a foreign land? Her story begins with ambition and strategy, but as we'll see, it spirals into chaos and tragedy. Jezebel was no passive consort. In many ways, she wielded more power than her husband, King Ahab. Ancient records and biblical accounts suggest that Jezebel was a politically astute and decisive leader, unafraid to take matters into her own hands. Her assertiveness, however, earned her a reputation as manipulative and ruthless. The story of Naboth's vineyard is perhaps the most infamous example of Jezebel's influence. When Ahab desired Naboth's vineyard but was denied, Jezebel took charge. She orchestrated a scheme involving false witnesses, leading to Naboth's execution and the king's acquisition of the land. To modern readers, this act is shocking, a blatant abuse of power. But let's consider a different perspective. In Phoenician culture, the queen often played a significant role in governance. Jezebel's actions, while abhorrent to Israelite sensibilities, might have been seen as decisive leadership in her homeland. Her methods were ruthless, yes, but were they born of malice? Or were they the calculated moves of a leader operating in a foreign and hostile environment. Moreover, Naboth's vineyard was more than just a piece of land. In ancient Israel, land was tied to one's identity, inheritance, and family legacy. By taking Naboth's vineyard, Jezebel didn't just seize property, she disrupted the very fabric of Israelite culture. This act, while politically advantageous, further deepened the divide between her and the people she ruled. No story of Jezebel is complete without addressing her legendary conflict with the prophet Elijah. This clash was not just a battle of wills, but a monumental confrontation between two opposing worldviews. Elijah's dramatic challenge on Mount Carmel, where he called down fire from heaven to prove Yahweh's supremacy over Baal, marked a turning point in Jezebel's story. After Elijah's victory, Jezebel's response was swift and fierce. She vowed to have him killed, forcing him to flee into the wilderness. To many, this reaction solidified her image as the ultimate antagonist. But let's dig deeper. Was Jezebel's fury purely about religious rivalry, or was it also about maintaining her political authority? Elijah's triumph didn't just discredit Baal, it undermined Jezebel's power base and threatened her influence over Israel. Jezebel's conflict with Elijah also highlights her unyielding nature. She was not a woman to retreat in the face of opposition. Her defiance, while admirable in its determination, ultimately isolated her further. This unrelenting drive to assert her will became both her strength and her downfall, showcasing the double-edged nature of power. Jezebel's death is as dramatic and grisly as her life. Thrown from a window by her own servants, trampled by horses, and devoured by dogs, her demise fulfilled Elijah's chilling prophecy. This gruesome end seems fitting for a figure so vilified in biblical tradition. But Jezebel's legacy doesn't end there. Her name has become synonymous with wickedness and idolatry, a cautionary tale for generations. Yet, modern scholars have begun to re-examine her story, questioning whether her vilification reflects the patriarchal biases of her time. Jezebel was a strong, independent woman who defied the male-dominated norms of ancient Israel. Could this defiance be part of why she was remembered with such hostility? Moreover, Jezebel's story highlights the complexities of cultural and religious integration. Her introduction of Baal worship was undoubtedly a spiritual catastrophe for Israel, but it also speaks to the challenges of navigating identity and power in a multicultural world. Was Jezebel a hero in her homeland and a villain in Israel? Her legacy forces us to confront these ambiguities and consider the ways history is shaped by those who tell it. So, who was Jezebel? Was she the villainous queen of Israelite tradition, or was she a misunderstood woman navigating the treacherous waters of power and faith? The truth is likely somewhere in between. Jezebel's actions were undeniably destructive, but they were also deeply rooted in her cultural identity and political strategy. Her story challenges us to look beyond surface judgments and consider the complexities of human motivation. Jezebel was a product of her time and environment, a woman who wielded immense power in a world that sought to constrain her. To view her solely as a villain is to oversimplify a narrative rich with nuance and significance. Jezebel's story is not just a cautionary tale, it's a call to understand the interplay of culture, faith, and power. It reminds us that history is often written by the victors, and that the true motivations of historical figures are rarely as simple as they seem. Jezebel's life and legacy are a study in contrasts. She was a queen who defied tradition, a woman of immense power whose ambition led to her downfall. Her story is a testament to the dangers of unchecked ambition and the consequences of defying God. But it is also a reminder of the complexities of human nature and the challenges of leadership in turbulent times. As we reflect on Jezebel's narrative, Let us approach her story with both discernment and compassion. The Bible is not just a record of good versus evil. It is a tapestry of human experience and divine intervention. Jezebel's story, like so many others, invites us to explore the depths of our own faith and understanding. Thank you for watching. If this exploration of Jezebel's story intrigued you, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to The Faithful Scribe. Join us as we continue uncovering the hidden truths of Scripture and diving deep into the untold stories of the Bible. See you in the next episode.